Right, yeah. So I'm not against the idea of hierarchy. I am against the idea of a system of inherited privilege for people who have decided it's the tyranny of the past, basically. And I can't believe you claim to have read Thomas Paine and not understand that. That blows my
How
mind.
could I have read Thomas Paine and not be you? Is that
And no,
that's what
and
you
not,
literally
not
just said?
understand the problem with what you're suggesting. Because I mean, you've got this fantasy in your mind that you're going to be in the aristocracy, but what if you're not? What if you're actually a serf on a farm somewhere and you're being forced to work by someone else? They could be whiter than white. What if that happens? You can be like, well, you know what? I did ask for this, and you're just going to plow that field, are you?
Life is
No,
not
answer my question, yes or no. Are you going to be happy with your lot as a serf in the new ethno-state feudal monarchy?
No, this is all completely
The answer's
hypothetical.
no, isn't it?
Even
Just say the answer's no. Just
even-
admit
of
you
course,
know your.
of course,
I'm
anyone-
interested. I'm
Would I
interested
be
in
happy
Richard's
as a
answer.
serf? Probably not. I
Then,
don't know
okay,
what to
thank
say.
You. Thank
Then
you.
why do you want
choose
other
it for
people?
someone
Stupid
else. That's the
question.
thing. You would choose it for someone else. That's the point.
I'm not going to choose serfdom for anyone. We don't live in such a society. I don't know what you're saying.
Aristocracy implies serfdom, Rich.
This is just an irrelevant
You guys,
tangent.
But
Okay,
Richard, you said
Richard,
your
with
argument
these like
boiled down
old
to
arguments from
we live-
300 years ago.
That you're trying to make relevant again by
Is
bringing
there
back an
an-
aristocracy and a monarchy. You've just argued for a king, Richard.
Within the modern United Kingdom, is there not? That is basically about inherited wealth and so on. That is not purely meritocratic, whatever that means.
And do you not think
there-
that
is
I
there
might have a problem with that, Richard?
What I am
Jesus
fundamentally
Christ, man.
saying is that this is a natural state of being, that there are going to be hierarchies. These are not going to be purely fair in whatever merit. I mean, when you
I
say
have not
meritocracy,
said that we need
it's
to go down
begging the
Rawlsian
question in
route,
what?
Richard.
You know, China had a
This is not an
meritocracy based
argument
on
I'm
test
making,
taking.
Richard. I don't know why you're making it, but I do have a question. Right? So, what do you guys do? Let's say you get your ethno-state. What do you do when, like, the international Jewry start propagandizing white people using the internet? Like Russian meddling with the elections, you know, they start, like, you know, putting stuff out on the internet and targeting white people to become total degenerates in whatever way is objectionable.
Well, what would you do about that, Sargon? I mean,
Well,
do you think
don't
that
ask
nothing
me
should be
what I
done
would
about
do,
that?
because as far as I can tell with alt-right principles, the first thing you'd have to do is shut down the internet, or at least, you know,
We
outside.
wouldn't
Well,
shut-
you're-
no. We
As a
wouldn't
classic
shut down
liberal,
the
why-
internet.
You're the
But
alt-right,
of
not
course,
me.
yes.
You tell me.
hang on.
I'll answer the question.
Right, one
You're
person-
engaging in these just meaningless hypotheticals, but I will
don't
answer the
think I have
question.
meaningless
If
hypotheticals,
there
given how
were,
we see that happen all the time now.
I'll answer the. If I had leadership and an order, and there were outside groups attempting to demean my people or subvert political legitimacy or just ruin the government, of course I would censor them.
Nazi Germany banned British newspapers, so yeah. I get it.
Oh, therefore, Nazi
Sargon,
Germany?
Sargon.
What an argument.
Thank you.
Sargon, did you
Hang
just
on,
say that
Richard.
this
Richard,
happens?
did
This
that-
very thing happens all the time, Sargon. Like Jewish people trying to subvert the West.
No, as in authoritarian governments shutting down outside access to their internet.
I have a
Do
question.
you want to
Well, how is
prevent
it?
Russian
Hold on, hold
hacking?
on.
Do you
I
think
have
that's a
question.
problem?
Richard, when you were
buy into the
censored,
Russian hacking narrative.
Let's have V.
I don't buy into it,
this
but maybe I
question.
do. Do
Let's
you want?
I don't buy into it,
Hang on, let's have
I don't buy into
V ask a question.
Let's say it
because
were
he's been
real.
sitting
Do you think the U.S. government should actually act against it? If it were
Well,
real,
All you're
do
talking
you think
about
the
is-
U.S. government should act against it?
Do you understand that what you're talking about? When we're not.
I
actually
asked.
talking
I
about Russian-
answered your question. Why don't you
I'm
answer
just
mine?
about to answer. If you would shut the fuck up for a second,
Well,
you'll
chill
get your
out, chill
answer.
out. Everyone take a breath.
To be
Everyone take a breath.
clear, we are not actually talking about hacking when they talk about the Russians. What they're talking about is like Russian Facebook
It's irrelevant.
advertising,
It's irrelevant.
campaigns, Twitter bots, things
It's
like
irrelevant.
this. No, it's very relevant, okay, because one of them is legal and the other isn't. Does
God, what
you
an after we
understand the
stop
concept
it.
of
Can I
rule of
come?
law?
Can I cut in for a bit, right, Richard? You're just legitimizing the current establishment for censoring you. Like, you are saying that you are a disruptive force in the current establishment, so it's okay if they censor you off the internet.
I understand why the current establishment would want to censor alt-right ideas because we threaten their legitimacy. No
You don't
question.
think it's wrong?
Don't you understand that this is why
wrong,
I'm
right or
defending
wrong. It just simply is.
Yeah, but you don't
It's
think
happening.
it's wrong.
We should
You
fight
just
against
advocate
it.
for exactly the same thing. You don't think that's wrong.
I
You
am
just want to be the
willing
one
to
doing it.
censor. I am not a free speech absolutist. That's a stupid position.
You're not a
Of
free
course
speech
I'm willing to
advocate,
censor.
my friend. You are against free speech if you would happily censor people.
Yeah, Richard, it
If-
seems rather odd that you would complain about being censored yourself when you're literally saying that under your own rationale, it's fine for them to censor you.
It's bad for them to censor me because obviously I'm right.
You're
I don't
you,
understand
and
why
they're
this
not.
is an
It
argument.
would be
obviously
happy
good.
to
I'm
censor
right.
the jury, mate, by the
Yeah.
same logic.
Yeah.
You guys are living in some
Stop
world.
talking about us and talk about the question, Richard. Stop with the
I
character.
answered it.
attacks.
I have
Sargon.
answered.
Yeah,
Sargon,
and you
question.
did. So stop defending it. Just accept that you are a censor and you're just annoyed that it's happening to you, not that it's not happening to them. That it's not about any fairness. It's not about morality. It's not about justice.
Do you
It's
do,
like
do you
get
is there are you a real free speech absolutist? Do you think that child
Again, you talk about
pornography
me.
is
It's a
all
character
fine
attack,
and good?
Richard. It's a character attack. It's okay that your ideology turns you
I
into
defended
a
you,
bunch of
Richard, by the way.
censors and authoritarians. That's the facts of your ideology. And I love
Every
you guys have to
political
do what
order
I would
is
do if I
going
was
to
all right, because
draw
that's what
a
I'd go with
line.
too.
Every political order is going to draw a line somewhere. There is no such thing as free speech absolutism. Every political
I
order is going
disagree
to
with
draw
you
a line
completely.
somewhere.
I'm afraid you actually have it in law. I mean, obviously there are
We don't.
exceptions, but for all intents and purposes, because we live in the real world, it can't be perfect. But for all intents and purposes, your country is spectacular when it comes to free speech, and I can't believe you would just throw all of that away just to get your way.
I think
Well,
the
this is
difference
all
is that
about
most
what we
people would
do.
try to largen the free speech window while you would try to shorten it. I
Yeah,
think that's the
I-
difference.
In an
Sargon,
ethno
this
state,
is
there
all
would be
about what you would
greater
do.
free speech.
No, this is about what you
Hold on,
guys
hold
would
on,
do.
Richard. Hold on. Sargon, this is all about what we would do to protect our ethno state from being subverted from outside.
Yeah.
Right? That's basically the question. So, is there anything that you would do to stop subversion from outside
Correct
a
speech.
state, regardless of the ethno thing?
Yeah, but it wouldn't involve government authority because all they're doing is
So
talking.
what would you do?
No, listen, right.
So,
All
what would
they're
you
doing
do?
is talking. I don't think talking to people outside of the ethno state should be stopped by the government. I think that's a massive
So,
violation of
the
my
thing
rights
is,
to
the
hear.
thing is,
Neither do
this
we.
but this has nothing to do with the ethno question. Though this is just a question of how to protect a state from subversion from outside. It could
This
apply
is
to
why
to
no, not
any.
at all. This is why collectivism is dangerous to the rights of the individual. This is why you guys are afraid of your own principles. You won't talk principles.
Yes,
It's
you
really
have to
frustrating.
protect- You have to protect
It's genuinely frustrating.
the collective. You have to
Exactly,
protect the
but
collective in order to hold
but
the
the
I
individual.
have
collective is
said
in
this.
danger.
You claim that I'm running away from my principles. I have said over and over and over again that yes, I want a society in which people are free to exchange ideas and goods and so on. That's healthy and free and lovely. There
Except-
is a point in which the rights of the individual will confront the collective order. That is the same for the ethno state. That is the same for every single social and political order that exists.
Yeah, but for you,
I am
that's
a
when
really
you got
close to
punched,
your
when you
nose.
got
For
punched,
you,
hold
that's
on.
really close. to
Let me just
the
ask him this,
individual.
Sargon. When you got punched, right? Those were your rights violated by a collective, which was pretty much.
It was an individual who punched me.
Well, yeah,
I
it was
mean,
one-
Yeah, it
one
was an
guy, yeah.
individual punching you because of ideological reasons, not because he hates you as a person. He hates the ideology that you're spewing.
right,
And the state
probably.
pretty much consented to that because there wasn't, thorough investigation into the individual who punched you.
I'm a U.S. citizen. I pay
Right.
taxes. I obey the law. I do
Correct.
not seek to overthrow the United States government. Therefore, I have rights as a citizen.
Yes, but other collectives view you as a danger, so they punched you. They did not give a shit about your individual rights. Do you think that's fair or not?
Of course, it's not fair. Life
Okay,
is
so
not
when
You're
fair.
arguing your own
This system
ideology
where
is
this
not
thing is
fair.
designed and not an accident.
Yes,
In the
because
United
life is
States,
not
what
fair.
happened
Politics
is an
is
accident.
not about fairness. Politics is about confrontation. Politics is ultimately about violence. It's about
Hey,
the
what-
proper
Richard-
use
Richard,
of force.
Politics is ultimately about violence. Did you talk to Antifa, mate, recently?
Yeah,
Because that's what they
Richard.
do.
Richard, if the US
Society
government
itself is consensual. Politics is actually about the use of
Hey,
force.
Hey, Kevin,
Okay,
can you ask your
I
question?
think that there's a
Yeah,
okay,
if the
Kevin and
US
then
gov-
me.
yeah, if the US government comes to your house tomorrow, Richard, and arrests you, you can't really complain, can you? Because they're
Of
doing
course, I
what
can
you said.
complain.
No,
You
it's
talk
not.
about
Well, no,
this
yes,
about
you
war,
just said
think
so
what
they
they're
can.
doing is legitimate, Richard.
You are engaging in a logical fallacy. What I
No,
am
he's
saying
not.
is that there is some point in which the collective, in this case, the state, is going to